Is it steel? Is it wood? Or is it just plastic? Or possibly something stronger? A Beyblade launcher is in many ways a necessity if you intend to be a blader. Even spin-stealing gods like Ryuga and Frida La Jolla carried around a Bey launcher. But what are they made of? And are they both made of the same thing? I know in real life, our launchers are mostly made up of plastic components, from the ripcords and gears to the strings themselves. Yes, the pull strings are usually made of nylon. That's a plastic-based material that's commonly used in fishing lines and is good for shock absorbance and is also abrasion resistant. That means it won't rip apart on you and it won't catch on fire. That's good. These materials are readily found on Earth as pollutants. And while there is a lot of uses for plastics, we should think about its negative effects on our environment. But I know that's not why you're here. We want to know what these launchers are actually made of in the show. And can we make them in real life? Surprisingly, yes, we can. Sort of. Maybe. Well, it really truly depends on the materials and your budget. So let's just start. I'm gonna go through a few versions of the Beyblade launchers with you. When it comes to the first ripcord launcher ever seen, that's Tyson's ripcord launcher. Yeah, we're gonna go back in time over 20 years to see the first Beyblade season. And since it is the plastic generation, we can assume that these launchers are, well, made of plastic. And that includes the ripcord too. So in theory, this is exactly what we have in real life. And if anything, we might be able to 3D print one ourselves, although I'm not sure how long it'll last. And that's due to the high force of a strong launch and the fragile nature of 3D printed gears. Despite what you may think though, a Beyblade can still spin quite fast using this kind of launcher. But Beyblade, I hear you say, they're definitely made of different stuff. Just look at the power of the launch in the show. Their bays must be going faster than we could ever hope to make ours spin. I mean, they even light up when they move. Well, apart from being an artistic representation of a Beyblade battle, remember that the Beyblades we see on TV spin faster because of the Bit Beast and a blader's bond or connection with the Beyblade avatar. Now, I do talk about that in this video, which I've added to the description. You can watch that after this video to better understand what powers the Beyblades themselves. Now, Tyson's launchers have changed throughout the seasons, but I believe that materials don't. And there are very strong plastics that can be molded into any shape we want. Although they're not being mass produced like Hasbro and Takara do, they may have to be 3D printed. It takes a lot of money and effort to make molds that will hold their shape when used in the heat necessary to melt the plastics through injection molding itself. This makes it especially difficult when it's something with various moving parts, such as a launcher. And the Dragoon shooter is so intricate, it even uses a screen. But how about Metal Fusion and the rest of the Metal Saga series Beyblade launchers? Are they made of plastic, metal, or are they 3D printed as well? Well, let's not jump into any conclusions just yet. There's no reason to think that these are made of metal themselves, but we certainly need powerful materials that are stronger than metal and not as heavy. The launcher shouldn't be heavy itself, but it does need to be durable. We all know that bladers are strong, and so we can conclude that their launches are strong too. Now, out of all the launchers introduced in Beyblade, none are more iconic and prone to breaking than the string launchers themselves. Sure, you can get a lot of torque from a ripcord launcher, but you can match or even surpass launch strength with a long enough string. Now, I'm sure that's why lawnmowers and chainsaws have them. Or maybe it's more practical to use as you don't have to keep inserting the pull cord back in after every try. When it comes to the strength of any Beyblade launcher, it's all dependent on the transfer of energy. As with ripcords and pull strings, it's all based on gear ratios inside the mechanisms. That's what makes the DB power launchers so strong, by using a small gear and a big gear to transfer all that power. So in my opinion, the gears and even the pins should and could be made of strong materials, like metal or maybe something stronger. Wait, hold up. There's something stronger than metal? Yeah, like spider silk. Spider silk is pound for pound stronger than steel. But for the record, I'm not suggesting that you make a Beyblade launcher out of a spider's web. Although I'm sure Spider-Man would be proud. Maybe in the future, we can have something as strong and light as silk or spider's web to make things. But let's work with what we have right now. While we don't need it to be lightweight, it is more practical to be using a metal like aluminum. This can make the gears and launchers last longer, but there are still better options. So what can be stronger and lighter than aluminum? And are the launchers made of that metal in the show? Oh, I'm getting to that, but not before a brief commercial. What? I like suspense. Wood. That's a strong material. It's strong enough to build houses, right? Nah, I'm just kidding. If wood was used to make launchers, they may just wear out, burn out, literally, and perhaps break faster due to the friction of a launch. They may be made of high-impact plastic, like polystyrene or polycarbonate, which can be made to be much stronger than regular plastic by mixing in rubbers. This material can be found in our launchers in real life, but there's still stronger materials that we can use to make a launcher in the show and in real life, like diamonds. What? Yeah, well, kind of. Well, I told you it depends on your budget. Alright, so the launchers are likely to be made of a very tough material that still looks and behaves like plastic. It's as strong as diamonds, but not as expensive as them. Why? Because we need it to be easy to shape and mold. And there is one option to make it at least 5 times as strong as steel. And in some cases, carbon fiber can be as much as 10 times stronger than steel itself. Yeah, the bladers are not playing around. They may as well be holding diamonds. Carbon fiber is basically the same material, carbon atoms, only arranged differently than a diamond. So the Beyblade launchers in the anime can and probably are made of carbon fiber. Now I do have links to what you need in order to make yourself a carbon fiber Bey launcher. But just be sure not to buy carbon fiber wrap, because that's just tape that looks like carbon fiber, and that won't work. As for the string itself, it is likely not nylon like its real-world counterpart. A better and stronger option is Kevlar, like I have on my Beyblade launcher modifications, or Dyneema, and that's because both of these materials are stronger than nylon. So would all the Beyblade launchers be made of the same or different materials? Well, it is likely that a Beyblade Burst launcher would be made of the same carbon fiber, whether a string or ripcord launcher. That's right, even Xander's sword launcher would be made of this material. In fact, you can make carbon fiber gears, ripcords, and other parts, like the housing itself. Then, by using Kevlar or Dyneema for the string, you may have a launcher that will probably outlast your Bey, which is a good thing, because it now means that we can Beyblade for a long time. And we can make our Beyblades in just the same way, with the same materials. But they still won't spark like the anime. But what are Beyblades, and for that matter, the stadiums made of, you may be wondering? Well, you're gonna find out in these 2 videos with this Beyblade Dad.